So I just wanted to bring something to the forefront. As part of your recovery, you go through layers and you work through all this stuff. And so I was thinking about something about recovery. Like when you go to recovery, not when you do it yourself. Don't do it yourself if you don't think you can. Don't. Because it takes so much longer. I think, maybe. I don't know, and the support is very minimum. I don't know what to really say about that, but what I want to say is when I was a teenager, I was on probation my whole teenage life, pretty much. I was very non-compliant, very rebellious, very willful, and I was on probation because I was a juvenile delinquent. Now, while I was on probation, I tested positive for marijuana, and they said it was really high. I was getting high on my lunch breaks at school. Anyway, so that's when I went to school. Hell, they're lucky I even went. My freshman year, I walked in the front door and out the back the first semester. They didn't really teach the stuff I wanted to know about. And they wouldn't let me have my French class. You know? English was the one class, I know, you think it sounds funny the way I talk, but really, I mean, back then, I was into writing in English and literature. I was. So I did show up for that class, and that teacher was awesome. My English teachers were always awesome. Always. Anyway, shout out to you, Miss Dever. I love you. You're the best teacher I ever had. The only reason I showed up for school was because of Mrs. Dever. I was always so tired in the morning. But anyhow, so I tested positive for marijuana, right? So they had me go to NA classes. And then the lady that was in charge of the NA classes, the Narcotics Anonymous, who met at the high school every evening, or every Wednesday evening, or whatever. And that lady wanted me to, she told my probation officer I could use some codependence, because my mother was an alcoholic. Now, I was living with my grandmother at the time, but I did live with my mother sometimes, but we couldn't get along because she drank. And because I was willful, I was a juvenile delinquent. Adults sucked at that point. If you were an adult and I spoke to you, you were lucky. I didn't trust any adults. None. And so she wanted me to go to these codependency classes, and I felt like I was being punished for what my mom was doing. And that, the way that they handled that, and the way that I took it, the way I received it, shot me into an even more untrusting attitude. I'm freezing, I'm shivering, I just woke up. So I wanted to get this out here while it was fresh on my mind, because I'm probably not the only one that felt this way if you had to go through this stuff as a kid, codependency. So when I heard the label, I was being labeled and I was being punished for something I didn't do. I didn't even know what the hell all that was. And I went to the classes and I don't remember anything but this one thing. I can be me, you can be you, we can be us. Isn't that a given? Isn't that common sense? Isn't that respect? Isn't that unconditional love? I don't know. But I think they could have handled it differently. It's cold in here this morning, but it's supposed to be 80 this afternoon. It's like the desert, I swear, sometimes. Anyway, I love y'all, and I hope this helps somebody. I don't even know what it could help, but I'm going to try to look at codependency differently. I still feel weird about it. I don't even really know what the fuck that means. It still feels like an insult. I'm not codependent. I'm a runaway. I'm a lone wolf. How in the hell can I be dependent? Co-dependent? Like, I'm depending on the driver who's driving me? I'm an adult now. My husband doesn't smoke, don't drink, or none of that. He's not perfect by any means, but neither am I. And, how can I still be a codependent? I don't get it. I know I was married to an alcoholic for 17 years after my mother, too. But I'm still wrestling with that right now. And I just want to put that out there in case you're wrestling with it, too. And I made that big step yesterday in my physical recovery to my spine. And so just say a little prayer. I'm hoping to, I don't want to talk about it. It's too controversial, but there's something that I'm doing for myself. It needs to be done. It's long overdue. And I'm hoping to get the acceptance so that I can get in there and get my shit together. So I love you. And I'm cold, and I'm going back to bed because it's 5:30. And I'll see y'all later. Blessed be.